that we are sharing and offering to you. We are available for contact with anyone who would seek to meet us. We would ask that everybody mute themselves because there is sound in the background. And we continue by saying, again, this is a wondrous opportunity you allow when you tap into this vibration. You open a bridge between the worlds that allows for the light and the frequencies pouring in from our realm to enter your reality and ripple out. And it is also of service to us, providing us with new insights into all that is, allowing us to connect deeper with Source through the reflections that you offer. For again, you are Source in the same art that we are. And yes, let us begin these dialogues now. For this is a powerful time that you are operating in. And now, the shackles that have kept so many imprisoned have the opportunity to loosen and to break. And yes, this is a time of your ascension, if you choose it. And the message we begin with today is that some of you, in a sense, have taken for granted this idea of ascension. In a sense, believing that when we and others say the Earth is ascending, that this means you are some passive bystander to a greater force working through you, and working rather for you. Because you have to understand, you must channel this force and allow it to work through you if you are to actually ascend. And the Earth is now coming to pivotal moments of a splitting in the roads, you could say. And this has been occurring, well, it's always occurring to some extent, though as your solar system came into contact with this idea of a photon belt, since your 1987, these windows of splitting have become vaster and vaster. And the parallel realities that you head into every time you choose to split in a positive direction are further off the tracks, much further off the tracks, every time again you choose that positive splitting point. And now we are to say that this is perhaps the most potent splitting of the roads that you have ever come to. And the frequencies you engage with in your consciousness now will determine what occurs for the rest of your lifetime. And this year of your 2020 is the most powerful window of opportunity you have had. And there is a chance of sabotaging this opportunity should you not make best use of the frequencies available to you now. The biggest splitting point is in the fall of this year of 2020, where you will decide which direction you are taking. And this has directly to do with your current political situation and the current leaders you have put in place. Understand that, of course, these leaders, as many of you come to understand, are also having soul-level agreements that are meant to shift your planet in a certain direction. And the leaders that are seeking in their right absolute power are designed to stir up forces that have been within your psyche since the Atlantean times and even prior, and are re-emerging now as there's this karmic spillover into the now moment from all of these past cycles of abuse of power. These leaders are, again, seeking absolute power, and they are stirring up and bringing to the surface the issues you really need to focus upon. And the issue we will speak to today in this area of your eclipse, which is in your mutable signs, there is now what you call a T-square, a perfect 90-degree angle between the sun and the moon and Mars and Neptune. Now, your Neptune here is in the sign of Pisces. And both Neptune and Pisces have to deal with illusion and delusion, and also spirituality and dreams. And now, when you are walking the spiritual path, you must be very clear all of the time that are your spiritual ideals and your goals and your perceptions about reality, most importantly, based in some false notion of what you hope to be true, or are they based in reality? You have already seen with the same transit of Neptune and Pisces what hope can do to people. It can inspire people to take a stand in some direction. But again, when that hope is not followed by actions that support the change that people desire, that hope does not lead you anywhere. And so many are now finding hope in literally the opposite polarity, and they are allowing delusion to sweep them off their feet, you could say. So again, we speak to the moon itself in this Sagittarius, opposing your retrograde Venus and your sun. And you can see that Sagittarius has a lot to do with your belief and your inner knowing. And the moon is also a planet that can be one of delusion, one of lunacy, one of allowing emotion to guide you rather than allowing your clear perception, your undistorted perception of reality through checking many different reference points to guide you. And this is what we see with the Sun and Venus in Gemini. Venus retrograded in Gemini is showing you that your love, your values have been sabotaged because you have not been using your minds and using your words, Gemini, in the proper way. So, moving back into what is really occurring right now. You have this COVID-19 outbreak. You have riots in your United States of the America. And you are seeing that what occurs in one place begins to then ripple throughout the world. And so it is not a localized issue at all. Yet your United States of the America is allowing this to be something that you see most clearly in one place. And the way that things change in this situation will determine what changes around your world. So there is this idea of unity. Yes, we say it every transmission. All is one, and the one is in all. You are all source, and source is in everyone. And you are innately all part of the field of reality. Yet this idea itself has been distorted in your present times to make you think that because all is one, all are equal. Because all is one, everyone has the same opportunities. Because all is one, the division is an illusion. When actually, you must again use this mind of yours to see all of the evidence out there and to see from every perspective. From many perspectives, there is not equality. From many perspectives, there is division. And just because you see from this higher level at which all things are one, does not mean in your physical third dimension, things are acting as one. And if you really want oneness to manifest into your physical reality, you must make the third dimension look like that fifth dimension and above, where things are one. Right now, you are allowing division to manifest. And so we say, well, many of you have seen that these protests have been on both sides set up. And this is very real. Many of you have come to see that your COVID-19 has been set up. And this is also very real. And what this should be teaching you is that they are attempting to induce a great fear within you. And with this fear, they can shape what you believe. And this moon, this emotional energy, aligned with that idea of having blind faith, your Sagittarius, is here to show you where you have been allowing your emotions to bring you to believe things that are not true. Because emotion is the most powerful force in your world. And this is why we say you must do what you love all the time to the best of your ability and not insist, loving every outcome that could occur and doing it just for the sake of things in the moment. Because when you bring yourself back to that core vibration of love, then you can come to see things from loving perspectives. And everything they are trying to do, when we say they in the sense, we are speaking to what you understand to be the Illuminati and the Cabal, but we will go further beyond that to the archonic energy parasites that make those systems work and operate. What they want is for you to experience great states of fear. And this gives some people control, and those who have that control enjoy it in their own way, but they don't actually experience a state of love, the highest pleasure and enjoyment one can experience in any dimension. Through it, they actually experience a state of fear. And so that fear motivates them to take more control. And that fear then feeds into these archonic forces, these energy parasites, what in some of your teachings you refer to as demons, quite literally, feed off of. They enjoy that fear and they use it to create an illusion of their separation from source. They're fighting against source, which is of course themselves, these energy parasites, and any such being is a true emanation of source. And they live in a sense of denial of that because they are allowing for an experience of duality to emerge through their very existence. And so we see the whole thing is not necessarily good or bad in any sense, though you want to come to see this from a non-dual perspective and allow that non-dual perspective to then shift into your third dimension, where you then choose the positive polarity, the positive side of the duality. And these archonic parasitic forces work to make you perceive that what is fear is love, that what is pain is pleasure, so that they can continue their existence, so that they can continue to operate and play like puppeteers the strings of your world leaders. So many of you are coming to understand the reality of this idea of Illuminati, a cabal, a deep state. And such a force has existed since the development of the present human civilization. And these beings were ones who not necessarily connected in a telepathic, direct way with those creator beings, the Anunnaki, yet they knew of their existence, and they perpetuated this worship of them in a conscious sense, and in a way intended to mimic the Anunnaki themselves and perpetuate the same enslaving operations into your world. And we say that any of you who really follows your mainstream media or works in a conventional sense in your world or believes all of the lies that are being shown to you is being manipulated by this archonic force to an extent. Now, this very archonic force and the Illuminati itself has come to see that there is this window now for the light to win and for the force of positivity to take hold on your planet, bringing your planet through a planetary ascension that makes you totally and completely immune to any interference from the archonic energy parasites. And that is their greatest fear. And so they are freaking out and causing an even more massive global freak out so that they can harness your energy. And they see this so clearly that they are revealing themselves, but then within that reveal, disguising core facets of their very nature. And so hence you have this idea of a conspiracy theory, and many of those conspiracy theories out there are actually factual, evidence-based things, and many of them are deceptions and lies. And there are so many of them now that your absolutist tendency in your human world to see things as either or extremes, one or the other. If one conspiracy theory is false, all of them must be false. If one conspiracy theory is true, all of them must be true. This allows those archonic forces to take an even stronger grasp on you. And so this teaching of your Gemini now is that you must see both sides of the coin and not give full credence to either of them and not have this absolutist agenda, because everything is relative. And some of these conspiracy theories are very accurate. Some of them are deceiving you. And those that are deceiving you the most now are the ones that are revealing to you this idea of an Illuminati, of an elite agenda, and then portraying someone who is totally within that same framework to be an oppositional force to it. And you have been given so many hints of this by being fed stories where somebody who defeats the darkness at first appears as darkness. But here is again the very lie, that when you really tap into the core energy behind something and you feel the emotional response in your body and you genuinely know what love is, you will always know the truth. And if you are thinking that you are knowing the truth, but feeling a degree of fear, or despite it, you are not actually perceiving the truth. So, these ideas are taking this idea of your world leader, we can simply say their name, the Donald Trump, as someone who is attempting to break the control of the Illuminati when he is himself part of that darker force. And he is as well a spiritual being of light that is serving to bring to the surface that which needs to be purged in your world. And therefore, on your ascension timeline, he is, from a non-dualistic perspective, your ally, and from your third dimensional perspective, which you are operating under. And you cannot escape, because when you transcend something, you include it. You've come to interpret this idea of transcendence to mean that going into the fifth dimension means the third dimension goes away. And it does not mean that. It simply means that you change your very relationship with the third dimension. And in the sense, when you shift into a full perspective of love, you will really come to see what is happening here in your third dimension. And so, again, this force, if you do not take a proper response to it in your year of 2020, will bring about a powerful karmic bleed through from your Atlantean timelines, from your Orion civilization, that will bring into this reality another layer of tyrannical control. It will perpetuate the illusion, the delusion that you live under, and keep the veils thinner for a period of time, or rather, keep the veils thicker, keep the higher frequencies from really reaching many, because that force of fear that they operate under will continue to spread. Now, if we go even deeper into this, many of you have come to wonder about these ideas of vaccines, and you have used this as your sole litmus test. And again, they understand you very well. They understand that certain hot button issues will be something that pulls you in and allows you to not really focus on the big picture. And you must have that full encompassing perspective here. First of all, the idea of your vaccines is not something black or white either. The idea of your vaccines is such that, well, they have served you to a point. They have prevented the outbreaks of certain diseases. They have given you a very healthy population of children through blocking out many of these diseases. Yet the understanding now is that as the force of light starts to take over, the dark forces are again seeking to take their control back. And so what was once something that has been helpful is now being used as an agenda to push things that are not helpful and will actually be of huge detriment to your health. So while at its core, these vaccines are not negative ideas, they are helpful innovations. They are being hijacked. Yet you cannot use somebody's stance on one issue to blind you to the rest of the picture. We will also say about this idea of your masks with your COVID-19, because we have been a bit gentle with you in the past, understanding that up until this point, we simply wanted to soften your fears. And that is generally the point to anything we say. We say what in the moment allows you to raise your vibration bit by bit. And so if we understand something is going to push you into fear, even if it is very true on some level, we won't say it because, again, understand the fear is the energy that feeds those parasites and allows for more chaos to enter your world. So this idea of your masks is essentially that they only reduce the spread of this virus by about 20%. But what they actually do is cause harm to those who wear it. And so again, they are, in a sense, attempting to make all of you less healthy by invoking your fear of this virus and then by disconnecting you from each other, forcing you inside, forcing you to disconnect from nature in many extents when those of you live in cities, and as well forcing you to stop the basic connection from human to human, which again, when you link with somebody emotionally, energetically, in person, is more powerful than this beautiful understanding you have of the distance that is illusionary, that we can energetically connect from this distance and everything is already within you. So this energy evokes within you your connection to source regardless of where you are. That is beautiful and good. Yet there is an importance to honoring your physical expression and knowing that your physical body changes and starts to become healthier, more immune, and more capable of integrating that vibration of love when you connect directly with each other. And so this is a time of a turning point in which you can experience those beautiful integrations of powerful frequencies of love when you stop buying into the illusions that are being shared with you and you stop buying into the fear and you actually take a courageous stand to the fear and know that you are an emanation of love. And when you stand true in your core vibration of love, you can eradicate the fear from those around you by being an example of a very balanced truth, a truth that both honors intuition and honors your rational and intellectual abilities to take in many perspectives and transcend emotionality so that you can see what is really clear and true. You are stepping into an Aquarian age, And your integration of this Aquarian age can only be complete when you equalize the playing fields, when you create a world where everyone is free and open to evolve in the highest way, breaking out of those traditions of belief that limit you into the higher perspective of true unity, which is an active unity, which is in a way that unity itself descends while you ascend. And you must work to bring the unity to descend in order to ascend. You must see all of the ways that your world is unequal, unfair, and illusionary, and take that higher perspective you are able to tap into with your force of love and change those very systems. And so really you cannot do this when you are angry and when you are so emotional that you cannot fully hold your feeling of love fully in your being. And so we understand that many of you need to release those expressions of anger in order to transmute them, and that is all well and good. But when you direct those forces of anger to the oppressive force itself, you, in a way, strengthen the oppressive force. And it is one thing to protest, and it is another thing to riot. And if you continue to riot, you only increase the probability of allowing those tyrannical, controlling forces in the energy, parasites that fuel them, to take a stronger hold in your world. And so you can be that emissary of love and peace in your way. Please do that. We are beseeching you to do that. We are requesting that of you. We always come with an energy of service, and we serve your highest interests, for that serves the highest interests of us and the highest interests of source and the highest interests of all that is, every single aspect of it. And normally we come without an agenda, but we understand you have an agenda. And if we are to serve your agenda, we have to ask you to do this. If your intention is to truly ascend, you must allow that love to emanate from you in all areas of your life. You must allow love to guide you to new perspectives. You must allow love to guide you to share those perspectives. You must allow love to guide you to draw you to the things that increase your frequency of love by connecting deeper with the earth and deeper with each other. And joyfully and hummingly bringing about this transformation. For you cannot do it through fighting. And you cannot do it through resisting, no. For what you resist persists. You can only do this through a playful and loving stand, but it must be a courageous stand, because again, both expressions, love and fear, are getting louder all the time, and you have to match the volume with the fear with your love. You have to see how loud and intense that fear is becoming and allow your love to be just a bit louder and just a bit more intense, and take a stand at this time, because understand that if you don't, war could ensue. There is already a war, but every time you instate a new war, a war against terrorism, a war against drugs, a war against coronavirus, a war against fascists, a war against this minority, a war against whatever, every new war that is imposed increases the frequency of that war itself. And so you must be the emissary of peace. You must say, I see your war out there, and I am over here, and I am understanding I have free will, and I am understanding that your agenda to control me cannot continue if I withdraw my energy, and if I allow myself to return from fear to love. And when you do that, that is your revoking of consent. You cannot passively say, I revoke consent and do nothing. You cannot say, I like ascension and expect things to ascend while you do nothing. You cannot say any of these things and expect results. And we understand that you have been conditioned to think this way by the archonic forces itself, who, of course, in your Catholic Church, gave you this idea that if you simply say the things you did wrong and ask God to fix it, things will just stay good. And again, whether this was your conditioning or not, that myth, that lie, has influenced all of the collective consciousness of humanity. And now is the time that you understand that words without actions don't operate in the same sense in physical reality. If you direct your words to some individual or group of people, that counts as an action. But what we are saying is that the words you say to yourself and the ways that you think that posting a little thing on social media that I don't give consent to Facebook to do this actually does anything. You are deceiving yourselves, and you are perpetuating this idea of self-deceit and illusion that you are breaking out of if you choose, while Neptune moves through Pisces right now, and for the next decade or so, you are coming to see reality for what it is if you choose, and that is the only way to ascend. So we thank you for allowing this transmission to occur. We understand it has a different tone than some of the messages we have brought forth at different times, though it is necessary and important for you today to open to this new reality. And now we will continue with any questions or concerns that you may have to serve you in the ways that work best for you.
Great. Thank you so much for this important message. So I guess I'll just start with a little clarification to something that you said. So you're saying that really what would be the greatest benefit for us is to not wear masks and begin to physically connect with others, and that um, we know that many people that will get this virus and recover from it, and that we should just risk that. I worry somewhat about the immunocompromised and the elderly when I think of not doing the social distancing that I've been doing. So I wondered if you could speak to that.
You can still choose to not interact as much with the elderly. And again, this is about honoring what brings you to feel the greatest degree of love and safety. So if you are still not on board with this, we are not asking you to go against that core feeling in your body. We are asking you to create in a way what feels safer for you, but we are saying that what you are being trained to perceive of as bringing you safety is not really bringing you safety. It is certainly not bringing you, the wearer of the mask, safety. It brings a slighter degree of safety to those around you. So if you have to wear the mask into the grocery store, that is one thing, but to keep it on you all the time is very damaging. And you are even seeing examples in your world of people who have worked in certain industries and have worn the mask for so long, and it caused a big detriment to their health, you see.
Yes.
So yes, choose to distance yourself from those at risk, but understand that you yourself will thrive most when you interact.
Okay, thank you so much. Um, so we have a question from Angela. It says, Angela says, I am aware how social media affects us by contributing to the delusion and confusion. I keep feeling like I want to disconnect completely to phone, computers, to prevent AI influence, etc. But I wouldn't be able to hear or connect to beings like yourself and others. Can you speak to this?
Yes. So, in the most extreme example, the way that you can turn off some of the glare of the negativity is to just create a new account and begin fresh and begin only following those frequencies that hold a resonance with you in a very positive sense. Because again, this idea of your social media is something that is being a bit distorted and is even programmed to distract you and keep you, in a sense, at distance from the now. And even the channel struggles while working through this platform to not, to a degree, be affected by it. And so the platform itself is serving you to the extent that you can use it for a positive purpose and not be sucked into the negativity that it is programmed with and programmed to show you more of the time. Does that help you?
Great. I think that's a beautiful answer. She typed in her question, so I'm not sure, but
All
we
right,
will
we can
just
revisit this at a later point. This is
great.
a wondrous theme to explore.
Yeah. Okay, and so we have Jared says, when it comes to martial arts, you must flow like water. It is your own energy. You must form and direct. I'm not sure if that's a
Yes.
question. That sounds beautiful. Okay, so
Well, we can
let's.
reflect upon that.
Okay.
And in a sense, the idea of any of these permission slips, like martial arts, like yoga, like qigong, and any other mind-body exercise, brings you into a state of flow and ease. And the idea then behind it is that you allow all of your life to emanate in a way of flow and ease. And again, this is the positive opportunity available to so many of you now, while you still have time off or more of it, so to speak, is that you learn how to flow in your body, and you learn how to make every act an effortless flow of choosing what resonates most with the frequency of love again and again and again.
Beautiful.
And that will bring you into a great flow of spirit, really.
Great. Wonderful. And Natalia says, I would like to know about a being named Yuno. I wish to know what race he is, what he is doing, his abilities, his passion. I'm not sure if you know what she's talking about.
All right. We can interpret the frequency of this connection. This being who has given itself the name comes from the Arcturian council, or the Arcturian emissaries who are coming to your world. And this idea of the name literally you already know the energy and the information that is being brought forth from your guides, because you and your guides are one, and you are making a bridge between one level of expression and a higher level, a multidimensional level of expression. And it will always feel like you when you are truly tapping into these higher beings. And so in a sense, the guide is teaching you and those it may come to meet that you already innately know all of the energy and the information we are sharing with you. So play with that connection more.
I love it. Cool. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so I'm just looking down through the Facebook scroll here. Okay, so Kimberly says, in healing trauma / PTSD, I'm still struggling to know what to do at all to be effective in taking action and overcoming a feeling of shutdown, especially as my actions were not effective prior in past experience. So trying to get still within to gain clarity on what I'm called to do.
Yes. So with PTSD, the idea is that emotions are stored within the cellular memory of the body. And so you are, in general, reacting unconsciously to those stored emotions. And the idea is then both to release the emotions themselves by getting in touch with them in a therapeutic way. And the most important thing, though, is that you generally create a sense of safety, and you surround yourself with experiences and connections that evoke a feeling of love. If the feeling that you experienced during a traumatic moment was one of great unsafety, you must live in a way that is most conducive to your safety. And part of the healing is then breaking the association with some things that may bring you to feel unsafe you now, but are not actually threatening you. So, for example, many veterans have a traumatic response to loud sounds like fireworks. The fireworks are not going to hurt anyone. So you may know on some level the fireworks will not do that. Now, how somebody may heal from this would involve many therapies that calm the nervous system and use actually touch-based and somatic expressions such as sound healing, Reiki with touch, aromatherapy, or a combination of all of these experiences while doing these therapies, remembering and changing the timelines, allowing the emotions and the core experience of those past things to replay, but then you superimpose a new film strip on top of the old movie. And so when you superimpose a new film strip, your mind is not so malleable that every time you can take out one character, but you can change the role the character plays. So for example, if one of your traumatic experiences was your father punishing you and locking you in your room, you then will change that film strip to one in which your father suddenly gets a call from an angel informing him that something went a little bit off and that he needs to apologize and take you out and asks you, where would you like to go? And you say, well, I would like to get on the magic carpet to the mystical mountain and meet fairies. And then you impose that new film strip on the old memory, knowing, of course, that what you are doing is a sort of willful change that involves some illusion. The idea here is that you are connecting with an alternate dimension that relaxes you more, and that your body, your subconscious, stops channeling information from that negative timeline and that negative experience and changes it so that your body and your subconscious now channel in more energy from this new vision that you create and the experience, the soft and cozy experience of creating that new memory for yourself. So that is what we would suggest most for this idea of trauma.
Great, thank you. Laurel, would you like to ask your question now?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, that was a powerful introductory message.
Oh, well, we thank you.
It was, at first, I relaxed after a while, but at first it brought up fear within me. I've had this fear that I seldom talk about with anybody, but of being left behind. And as you kept speaking, I started to relax and feel a little more objective about things.
Yes.
So that would be one thing that I would like some clarification on. And then also, I really, a couple weeks ago, I spoke with you about an action step, and I see that I've only been dabbling with the action step about becoming part of a prayer / meditation community online, and there's something that prevents me from moving forward, even though I might get excited for a little while. Over the years, I've noticed that, and then it just somehow these ideas go out the window. So
All right.
action step, real important for me. So if you might address those two things.
So first, beginning with this idea of being left behind, and we can say that in a way your past channels who brought forth some ideas of these changing times had an idea of a rapture where some souls stay behind and some souls ascend to a new level. And what this really does refer to is the splitting of the timelines. So understand that there is not really a way that you can be left behind when you choose to live in the frequency of love. The more you, as you already have done, even within this transmission, return to that core frequency of love, you will be in alignment with that ascension journey. And that frequency that you put out generates a response in the world around you. And the most powerful way to do that is, again, taking action steps that are fueled and filled with that core energy of love in general. So we would say that there is nothing really to fear as much as there is an awareness that, again, the ascension itself requires you to be at that frequency. And there are so many who are choosing that frequency. And if you follow the core frequency of love and you follow these leaders, in a sense, that actually emanate a loving action, then your reality will change. But it is, in a way, not being like the sheep that follow the shepherd, because the shepherd ultimately takes them to the slaughterhouse. It is more, in a sense, following the lion, following strength, following the heart. And you can see the lion as the flip side of this so-called age of Aquarius. For there is an axis between Leo and Aquarius, and Leo here is representing the heart. And if you get to the heart of things and you live from that example, it will not lead you to be like everyone else. It will not lead you to simply follow the blind steps of a leader. A true leader in these times is an individual who sees in an individual way and expresses in a unique way. And they don't inspire you to mimic anything that they're doing except the individual and unique way that they are choosing to do it. And so that is how you will most align with Ascension. And as for, well, connecting with these prayer groups and others, you must understand that, again, you can't do anything wrong. You will always connect with the right group, even if you learn lessons from a group. And when you step forward in love, you will always receive love. So just do it, we would say. Allow the courage to motivate you to choose to connect. And, well, you are very lucky in a sense that you simply manifested it in this sense, because today we will be, after this transmission, all connecting and holding a loving and prayerful circle of healing light around your globe. So we thank you for manifesting that synchronicity today.
Thank you. Yes. One thing that occurred to me in pondering this, questioning myself, what is it? I feel like one thing I need is support, from others, to feel like confident in myself, and maybe not, and you could reflect on this, and maybe not picture it in a particular sort of a way. I got to thinking, well, maybe I need to start my own prayer and meditation group through Sacred Circle Dance Simplest. So maybe it doesn't have to be joining something. Maybe it can be starting something.
Yes, that is even more a powerful way to create this. So allow your own specific intentions and desires to birth the creation of this group.
Yes, and Sarah, is there another question that somebody's waiting? Because there was another piece to that, but
yeah, Laurel, we could come back around, or you could just ask
why don't you
it.
come back around? That'd
Okay.
be
Okay.
All right. Well, we thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. Okay, so Kevin has a question from Facebook. Could you comment on creating a new physical body in any moment, especially during a timeline jump? Also, could you comment on how we as humans are transitioning to a new consensus for our physical bodies as a collective and how it relates to the water of our earth?
All right. Well, very interesting questions. We thank you. For one, you are always creating a new body in every moment, because understand you are shifting through billions of parallel reality frames in every nanosecond. And so every time there is a single change in your being, it is a total change. And the you in this moment is different than the you in the next moment. And once you understand this in a deep way, you understand that whenever you excavate a deeply practiced belief, and you'll know that you've excavated it because you will feel the emotional energy it's created, and you will also feel a love that transcends it, that allows you to simply erase it. You'll know that every time that you do that, you're not the same person you were before, and you come to experience reality in a whole new way. So the idea of a collective shift in that consensus then means releasing collectively held negative beliefs. And there are so many of these collectively held negative beliefs. And one of them is actually motivating so many of the dark agendas that are playing out, and equally the resistance to those dark agendas. And that is the belief that humanity is inherently flawed and does not belong here. You can see it manifesting as these ideas that you are the parasite and you are the cancer on the earth, when really you are a deep part of nature. And nature has also the opportunity to destroy itself through you, but that is still nature following that path. And there have been many planets that have been destroyed, and there are many natural phenomena that allow for planets to disappear. That is still nature. A meteor crashing into your planet is still nature. So that is also a part of it. And even you pressing the self-destruct button is nature pressing the self-destruct button. And you must not fear this outcome. You must not focus so much upon it, because knowing that the more you focus upon that reality and attempt to prevent it by controlling yourselves in a negative sense, the more that will be the negative outcome. And well, really, this splitting of the timeline could lead your human race into that more destructive potential if you don't choose to make these changes now. So some of the other collectively held beliefs that are certainly a part of this would include that we have to force things to happen. We have to impose our will upon creation. And the other such being a lack belief. There is a deep belief in lack, that actually those who have more in your world tend to hold on to more than those who have less. You can see some people in the middle ground coming to understand more clearly that if you have your basic needs met, you are very abundant. And so this belief in lack both motivates the control of others, as well as it creates instability and insufficiency. So the more that you yourself release these beliefs in your inherent wrongness or badness, also known as releasing your shame, and you release your sense of lack and not enough, and you release as well, here's the third most important core belief to look at, is your sense of division between each other. Your sense that the rock is over there and I'm over here. Your sense that this person is different than me. They may not have the same experience, but you are one and the same, and you must be given the same rights. Yes? So you must come to clear away all of these beliefs that separate you. And this is why you are practicing playing with trees and crystals and all of these power tools you play with, because you can see that the vibration that those things emanate then transduces into your body and becomes a different sort of energy you can work with. And this is the same thing that is occurring all the time unconsciously. The energy that one person is feeling and emanating is rippling out into all of the other people in your world. And so if such is true, the only way to really create a balanced world is then to create a world where everyone is given the opportunity to fully experience peace and harmony. And so again, clearing your belief that you are separate from others, and or separate from source, or separate from anything, is what changes the collective field the most. And so, well, water, what does this have to do with it? You asked about the water as well. Very wondrous indeed, because you are made of 70% water, aren't you? And again, every vibration is most powerfully stored within that water. And water is, in a way, that amorphous energy within you that makes this very thing possible, for energy to move between people. And you'll see that through that example of the messages in water. And what this really means is then you have to focus on those core vibrations that change your vibration most, so that again, the energy can ripple out and affect everyone. And again, the more that you change your own personally held beliefs, they do ripple out into the collective, especially the more that you live and speak from your new place of an empowered belief in the infinite nature of yourself as source, in the infinite nature of your connectedness as source, and in the infinite nature of your abundance as source. So again, those three groupings of belief that are most important are the belief in your worth, value, or goodness or badness that must be cleared, your belief in lack that must be cleared, and your belief in your separation from source and from nature that must be cleared.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you, Kevin, for those great questions. And Manuela has a question. She says, I used to have a few clients, and after my pregnancy, they slowly started to disappear. And now I have literally none. What happened to make this happen? And what can I do to change this? Is it part of my personal growth to have no clients, to make time and space for new learnings?
Well, yes, as you have just said, you know, ironically, the name of the guide that was introduced earlier, you know that in order to go through this process, you need to direct your energy inward to yourself and care for yourself. And so, well, when will you get more clients? It's when you are in a space to receive them. When will you be in a space to receive them? Is when you have met all of your own personal needs, so that you can then start to meet the needs of this new soul that is coming into this reality. Understanding that you cannot meet the needs of clients until your own needs are met. You cannot meet the needs of your child until your own needs are met. And in a sense, the needs of your child will come before the needs of your clients, but even before the needs of your child are the needs of yourself. Especially now that your child and you are in very much a direct sense one in this moment. We thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. And so we've got a few more questions from the Facebook feed. So I just have to go into those questions.
Nobody wants to speak with us live at this
we
moment.
don't have too many live speakers except for me and Laurel.
All right.
So we have one. Where shall we go here? It looks like Joaquim.
Yes.
Joaquim says, could I ask the following question? I read the book Alien Interview based on personal notes and interview transcriptions provided by Matilda O'Donnell McElroy. I would like to know if you can explain if the traps described in the book are still active and some backgrounds on that. Thanks.
The traps.
I'm not sure what Joaquin means by that.
All right. The traps in place. Well, we are not fully interpreting or able to perceive the energy of this particular text in this moment. Though what we would say is, are there traps in the sense of extraterrestrial connections that may not serve you? And in a sense that is still, to a degree, potential, though you would have to go very far out of your own way to manifest that as your reality. In a sense, be very deep into a vibration of fear. Now, we, as those extraterrestrial forces of the light, are coming to meet you and are available to everyone. Though, what you must understand is that actually at this time, some channels have been compromised by those archonic energy parasites that attempt to fulfill their agenda by working and distorting the energies coming through that channel. And in the sense, there are traps, yes. They are not extraterrestrial in their nature, but they are extra-dimensional in their own right. And so this is why even when different messages come through different channels, we have to tell you that the channel and their belief structures and so much of their own emotional story that you don't see behind the scenes has direct influence on their availability and the distortions that come through their channel. And there are many channels that are being hijacked. So you have to keep a very discerning eye and take every message and compare it with your own deep connection with source and with love within you. Does the message resonate with love? Does this resonate with truth when I compare it with every perspective available to me and what I need to do in my own life to deepen in that experience of love today?
Great. Thanks so much. We've got a question from Walter. Walter, would you like to ask this question live since you're in the Zoom room, or do you prefer that I ask it? If I don't get an answer, I'll just go ahead and ask it. Okay. It looks like I feel very much connected with the star sign Orion. Can you tell me what the quality of Orion is and what it means for my life and what the energy of Orion means for the planet?
Oh, yes. We are very happy to speak to this. Now, Orion is a very ancient seat of civilization. So you must understand now that the first beings to incarnate in this galaxy came from Lyra and Vega, in that order. And the conflict emerged once some beings moved to the Vega between the Lyrans and the Vegans, and then the souls, so not necessarily the beings, but the souls, would seek to express the same karmic pattern in a new part of the galaxy. And hence, new civilizations were birthed. And so the next pocket was Orion. And here in Orion, there was, well, wonder civilizations at points in its growth, and deep explorers, adventurers, very powerful beings. And yes, many of them expressing in a humanoid way, much like yourselves, a bit different than you, but they would not seem so alien if you really perceived them, at least one group of them, for there are many different species within this Orion pocket. Even in a sense, you can consider this channeling of your Star Wars to be not exactly portraying Orion, but being inspired and exploring some of the same themes and even some of the same expressions, of course, a bit interpreted in your own human sense of what Orion might have been like in some timelines. So again, now there was a great conflict in Orion, And this is generally an energy that emits into your world. And in some great transformation, the Orion system in the future timeline versions expresses as balanced and clear, and has completed this theme of moving from the darkness into the light. And what manifested in the Orion system was this idea of a Black League. And the Black League was such a resistance force to, again, tyrannical and oppressive governments that, in a way, kept entire planets enslaved. So, generally speaking, the degree of negativity explored in Orion is 5 times greater than that you experience in your present world. Yet, this Black League attempted to overthrow those tyrannical forces, but they did so with the same negative, fear-based energy that the government was using against them. And it, in a sense, blew up in their face, you could say. So they sought then to discover this true energy of non-resistance and love-based action, which came to then bring about the unification. But they had to learn through that deep expression of polarity how to actually overcome fear through love. And now, again, when we are speaking in terms of these different civilizations, such as Lyra, Vega, Orion, even Sirius, Pleiades, and the Atlantis and Lemurian civilizations, understand that everything is here and now, expressing through you, living through you. And the energy from these times spills over and expresses outwardly into your times. And so what you are seeing now as so many controlling forces taking a hold in your world is expressing through a karmic bleed through of the Orion time. And if you use that positive expression of true insight, true integration of love, that leads to a very non-resistance and open attitude that embraces the negativity and combats it with light rather than with more fear, you will again align with the Ascension. And so Orion is in here a guide for you to show you what that form of deep resistance looks like and how to change your attitude from one of resisting through fear into changing and creating through love.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much. And Sissy, would you like to unmute yourself?
Great, thank you.
Hello.
Hi, I'm so excited to finally
Welcome.
talk to you.
Oh, and we are as well pleased.
I am a follower and studier of the old fairy traditions.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you. And I'm also a member of the House of Bree Fairy Seership
Yes.
Institute. I'm an apprentice. And my question is, what would be my, I guess, my star DNA and the
All right.
attributes to help with my purpose of bringing the human and fairy races back together so we can co-create Eden, bring Eden back to Earth?
Yes. Primarily, you have an Arcturian frequency manifesting through you and your unique gifts. Though again, understand that while there is one force that will generally be your introduction, your gateway, you could say, into connecting with extraterrestrials in general, most of you will find that you have DNA and connections with many different extraterrestrial groups. Though we are seeing the most appropriate outlet for you to be introduced, so to speak, is through this Arcturian connection, the Arcturian gate. And understand that what you consider fairies do not merely exist in your human realm, they exist on other planets as well. And so you may come to learn the difference between extraterrestrial beings who have a physicalized expression to extraterrestrial fairy consciousness. And because that dimension of the fairies and the elementals is so much more vast and encompassing and can change so much more easily. There's an infinite amount of extraterrestrial fairy consciousness that you may come to communicate with in the same way that you communicate with those fairies of your earth plane. And again, understand that you do not need to seek upwards in order to make this connection. Understand that the portal mostly exists within you, and you can allow it to download. Literally, it is coming down from the stars into you. Though that is the origin point, is within your own heart. You may start to know yourself as well as Arcturian, and of course, of many origins as well at this oversoul level. So we thank you.
Oh,
Does that help
thank
you?
you so much. Yes, that was
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you.
Something more you would like to say about this? We are happy to chat.
Actually, sometimes I'm just wondering with the way things are going in the world, if the human race is even worth it. I mean,
Well, again, that
you
is one
know,
of the negative beliefs that we have spoken about today.
I know,
Is
and I've been
that
trying hard.
you yourself as humans don't have worth. But understand, and you can experience this most clearly when you connect to these ideas of love and pleasure and joy, that there is purpose to this existence itself, and it comes through these feelings of connection and awe and wonder. And when you have that state of wonder, you can more easily move through any of those belief systems that are blocking you from experiencing that pure light. And understand that, again, well, you may connect with a more drudgery-esque timeline if you do not take the actions based in love now. But this is now the spur to action, in a sense, that these eclipse gateways are spurring you to stand for what you believe in and make sure you are seeing it clearly. And then to, as we move into these more Cancer axis eclipses, care for each other. And you will understand through the depth of your love for one another that there is great purpose for you to be here. And it will take that depth of love and your ability to feel the deep connection to all other humans and to the earth itself and to all life for you to really break free and start to make these beautiful changes in your world. Yes?
Right. I believe that. I just, it's just one of those moments, this
Yes.
week. Thank you so very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yes.
Love you.
We love you as well.
So I'm just going to pop in here. This is Sarah for a second. I just
hello,
feel,
Sarah.
hello. I feel this joy of possibly creating fairy songs with Sissy, because my fairy self is recognizing her fairy self. And I wondered if you could just speak to that for a minute.
Well, yes. Creating fairy songs is a wondrous way to invoke their energy. So if that is what calls you to passion and calls all of your co-creators to their passion as well, please do explore it. Yes.
Wonderful.
Works for me.
Okay, Sissy, I just emailed you my email, so let's get in touch.
All righty.
Okay, and Angela, go ahead and ask your question, and then Heather, and then Lauren. So that's our list. So go ahead, Angela.
Thank you so much. I had a question. I've been feeling the intensity of this full moon eclipse upon us, and I have a
Yes.
Scorpio sun and a Sagittarius moon, and I was
Uh-huh.
wondering if you could speak to how it is affecting me personally and how best I can utilize these energies at this time.
Well, to have an eclipse on your own moon is a wondrous window for you to plant seeds of a new cycle in birthing, of how you move forward in relation to your most inner emotional self. And so you may be quite a spiritualist, yes?
Yes.
And in a sense, this is a chapter for you to plant the seeds of new beliefs in yourself and in your power and in your connection. So many of these emotions you're experiencing, do they have some ideas associated with them? what could you say if your feelings would speak through you?
Hmm. Um, yes, I've been dealing a lot with inner emotions around being a mother and having adult children, separating from the guilt and shame that comes sometimes with motherhood, and also creating boundaries for myself as a human other than just a mother.
Yes. And
Um,
so you are now stepping into this understanding, this belief in yourself that you are worth having boundaries and that your boundaries serve to give you vitality. And in that way, you have more to give in the ways that you want to give.
yes,
All right. Well, that sounds very potent.
thank you.
Yes.
Do you see my DNA star seed? Sissy reminded me of a question that I had and how I can best connect with my galactic family for support at this time as well.
Yes. Well, the beings that most want to come through for you are beyond the galactic spectrum entirely. They are forces you may know as angels. And they want to reach out to you to affirm to you that you are one with your source and that you can receive their energy and their messages in the same way as some others do in your world. So these forces directly emit from the galactic center itself. And as you meditate and reflect upon the galactic center, many of these different forces will then start to work through you. Of course, the extraterrestrial frequency that is most connected with you at this point is Pleiadian. Though you have, however, been affiliated with the hybridization program in recent years. So there have been some new codes switched on by the hybrid races that may also serve you to explore.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, our thanks to you as well.
Beautiful. Thanks, Angela. And Heather, why don't you go ahead and unmute?
Hello, thank you, and welcome. It's such
Hello.
an honor to be here.
Oh, our thanks to you as well. We welcome you and thank you for connecting with us at this time.
Absolutely. I've been working with Dante in his channeling class, and I have a question. It's kind of the same as Sissy and Angela,
Yes.
in that it triggered me to want to understand better the energy or the essence that is wanting to come forth through me,
Yes.
and that connection. And then tied to that, the planetary, the divine planetary bodies, Tiamat and Marduk, have been coming up in my channeling, and I feel very, on a soul level, emotional about that. Can you help me understand that?
Yes. So you are, again, channeling what you know to be the voice of your own higher self that is speaking as source through you. And so this is, again, a wondrous place to start because it is what allows for then other beings to speak as their own source, to speak through that deep connection with source itself. And as you, again, come to integrate this understanding that you are source and source speaks through you, when you reach those peaks of the greatest love, then you can allow for an even greater bond to emerge, and you can invite in different guides to manifest as these essences and figures representing extraterrestrial consciousness and ascended master consciousness, though they will come when you can really trust in your own divine connection to Source and know that you and Source are one. And we understand that you do know this by and large by this point. Yes.
Yes.
So, do you feel a great trust for this connection emerging with you?
Yes, it's just emerging.
Yes. And understand that for you to merge with Source is a foundation. And when you channel other guides, this experience of merging with Source that you are experiencing will allow you to, in a way, create a temporary merge with a specific personality, and then shift back into your own human personality, while that personality is itself already merged with Source. Yet, for example, if you were to merge all the time with this other aspect of your oversoul, this consciousness, it may start to bleed through into your personality in some ways that do not really serve in your waking life. And this is why, for example, you see many star seeds not really fitting into the world on your planet, because they are channeling so much these other essences from the star systems that they do not know where those incarnations end and this incarnation begins. And so this is sort of a safe way your higher self is guiding you through the process to open up to your source self first, and then come to allow in these other aspects of your oversoul.
Okay.
And what was the other part of your question again?
In my last channeling, it was talking about the gears of ascension and evolution, and how
Yes.
we are the smallest gear, but it's turning all of these other gears all the way up to the
Yes,
gear of
yes.
Source. So Source, because we are evolving, it is causing Source to evolve.
Yes.
And then Tiamat and Marduk came up about how the destruction, just an energy or an emotion of loss around that. Whew.
Yes.
Yes. And how to reweave that fabric of the divine plan. Can you help me feel into that
Yes.
and know better what to do to heal it?
Well, again, understand that the bleed through of these experience and emotions of grief are, in a way, a premonition of how to shift your whole planetary cycle from experiencing that again. And now, as you allow that evolutionary force of love to awaken greater within you, in your own channeled understanding of this, the gear that you are spinning starts to slide into place better and also move quicker, so that you can align with the right frequency of ascension itself. So you may want to, if you choose, look back at some of these moments through remote viewing or past life meditation to understand the fear and the energies that brought about those destructions and betrayals, and understand that clearing that emotional charge from the collective body at this time is part of what's allowing the gears to shift into motion even greater.
Great. Is that complete for you, Heather? Or do you?
I think so.
I'd love to connect with you about that. I'm a logos holder for Tiamat, and I've been experiencing the explosion since 1998 and rewriting the timeline. So let's get together.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Thank you.
You bet.
yes, we look forward to these cultivations and for all of you to remember these galactic and planetary mistakes that have been made, because this is a moment in which all of those timelines are experiencing a review and a renewal. And so now is that pivot point of greatest change. And the ways that you remember the incidences that hold that highest charge for you is parallel to how you will show up for this shift. So yes, we thank you for being willing and so courageous to explore these experiences at a soul level.
Yeah, my understanding with Tiamat is that Nibiru crashed into her. So it's like this, it doesn't feel like it was an attack on her, but rather a cataclysmic accident. But anyway, we can talk more. We've got a lot of questions, but you could just
Yes,
comment
that
on
may
that.
be the occurrence on that particular system, though the other one was involving some more interference, you could say.
Yeah, like when Tara's explosion of fifth dimensional Gaia, that was a whole different story. Okay, so our next question is Lauren. Is Lauren there to ask her question?
Thanks, Sarah. I'm here.
Oh, you bet.
Hello.
Hi, Pleiadian Council. Thank you so much for your divine love, support, and guidance. I'm always so excited to hear your insights when you channel through Dante.
Oh, our thanks to you as well.
Today, I would like to receive some feedback regarding my acne. Would you be able
All
to
right.
assist me in identifying the source of this imbalance? Are there any self-limiting beliefs or behaviors that are getting in my way, and what changes can I make in my lifestyle to assist this healing process?
Yes. So at the core, you can consider this something that has to do with your basic sense of safety and protection, as your skin is that barrier that gives your body this vital layer of protection from the world around it. And when the skin is bothered in such a way, it always will mean that there is something at a core that is bringing you to feel unsafe. And also, in these cases, making you desire to not be seen. So, when you come to, again, release any of those blockages, particularly in the root and the solar plexus chakras, that relate to your sense of belonging and worth and connection to the earth and those around you, that will be the emotional level that will shift and transform this manifestation. Now, on a physical level, you generally will want to review those foods that you consume that cause the production of mucus. So we would say that you must perhaps eat more fruits and fresh greens and reduce the consumption of anything that is too oily. And we would suggest for your face, if you can get some clay. There are many different kinds of clay that would serve this purpose. One such is the Rasul clay from Morocco, but there are many clays that will do. And once or twice a week, put this clay on your face to start to clear away some of those issues. Put the clay on any place in your body where you have acne, and this will help as well. Calendula oil may be also of great use. Do you have any questions of what we have shared so far?
No, not so far.
All right. Do you generally feel your connection to everything around you and feel secure within that?
I definitely have an issue with security, sometimes living as a woman in South Africa. I haven't
Yes.
personally been violated or physically been abused. But moving on to the connection part, yeah, for some time I haven't felt like I've belonged on Earth. But I've, yeah, along the way discovered that I'm from Andromeda and I've lived lives on with the Pleiades. So yeah, I'm not from here. So it's taken me quite a bit of effort and working through to connect with my body and to connect with the Earth.
Yes. Well, we understand you are making strong connections with these other systems, though there is one layer of belief that can sabotage your incarnation here when you repeat this thought, which then becomes a belief that I am not from here. Simply because you are manifesting connections to these other incarnations, what the real meaning of that is, we would say, is that you are here to bring those energies and those frequencies into your earth plane. And so you deeply belong here, but it does make for a more challenging incarnation when the world is not ready for those frequencies. So this is also something that is changing now, as more than ever in the past years on your planet, this idea of star seeds and being a star seed and knowing your connections to other realms is exploding in your world. So there is great and vast opportunities for you to connect with those that affirm to you that you belong here, and you also connect to something much bigger that is also in a sense occurring here, and you are bringing it literally to your here earth plane.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I definitely have quite a bit to reflect on, particularly on belonging here. I'm here now for a reason. So yeah,
Yes.
definitely focusing
And
on that belief.
so the best way, again, manifesting it is through the actions that show you you're belonging here, that show you you have your purpose here. And connecting with other star seeds may be a part of that, and showing you those experiences that most align with your unique passions. So the more that you channel this frequency of love into helpful actions that you can allow to share with others, that can connect you deeper with your earth and the other beings here, the more that belonging will manifest as your feeling state, because you are acting in a way that proves it to you.
Great. Okay.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Oh, we
Thank
thank you so much as well. And yes, we do
So,
encourage you to affirm your safety as well. Know that you are divinely protected, and as you follow your intuition, you can manifest safety in all other regards as well. So, yes, you may seek more that expression of safety, and all of you may as well do that, knowing that you deserve to feel comfortable and powerful here. And yes, we would say, if possible, there is a guest of the channel that has a question at some point as well. We simply letting the host know now.
yes, sure. Yes. Thank you, Lauren. Connect with me. I just sent you my email. I have a strong connection to Andromeda, so we can probably have a lot of fun. So would you like to ask the host question? I know Denise has a question. What do you think?
Are you here with us now?
Denise, I think, is here.
Yes,
There's some-
yes, yes, this would be perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Denise, talk a
Oh.
little quieter, honey. It's really loud.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm wondering if if you can tell me any messages from my mother and my father who have crossed over.
Well, they love you very much, and they are always with you. They are eager for you to grow and evolve, and simply want you to know that anytime you wish to connect with them, you can invite them in.
Yes. I wonder if there's anything you could tell me about any since they've crossed over, any insights that my father or my mother have gained in regards to me and my life, or in regards to them and their life.
Well, again, when a soul passes over, they see from that lens of source, they see all of the results of their actions, their karma, so to speak, and they also see from that lens of unconditional forgiveness that comes with the unconditional love of source consciousness. So in that sense, now they see everything as perfect and harmony and unity. We are not such beings that would work with any soul fragment or ghost, so we only really have access to the part of them that is whole and complete with source.
I see. And by any chance, do you have any special message for me today that would be helpful for me to know?
Well, our message only changes as the question you ask changes. And so we have to ask you then, are you following your passion, living your highest excitement in your life in the ways that fills your expression and experience with love?
I'm trying to.
But there is no trying.
Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. I want to be more in my joy, and I want to be more in my body, and at times I feel overwhelmed by the shifts that have taken place in my life and my new responsibilities, and a part of me just wants to escape, but I want to really grow where I am and use these opportunities. I am feeling isolated and alone, and I want to.
And are you to an extent choosing that?
Well,
are you able to see the ways in which you are choosing that?
I'm well, there's a quarantine. I'm trying to stay away from people because of that, for safety, but I want to connect with people in the physical, like face to face, more in a way that feels safe. But I'm choosing that for safety, but I want to connect
Though, as
more.
we have said, you are choosing that out of fear and compliance with a fear-based message, more so than you are choosing it due to actual safety.
Oh. Do you have any suggestions? I live in a new place. I have a friend an hour away and another friend an hour and a half away. I want to go visit them.
If they're willing to meet you, then we encourage you to continue to reach out and to create those experiences of love and connection and support. And we also encourage you to equally reach out for the support online in the ways that you can have personal interactions with other people that serve you and serve them.
I want to have people over and cook dinner with them and eat dinner with them. I've been eating alone for the last 2 months.
All right. So, yes, we would encourage you to seek out greater connection.
It's good that I'm here where I am in this place of my parents' house.
Does it feel good for you?
It feels like a blessing, but I need to make it into more of a blessing.
All right. And you'll gradually adjust into this new experience and find those that serve you and fulfill your heart in this area. Should you choose to, again, live moment by moment, following your highest passion in the moment and allowing the fear to subside that would hold you back from doing anything that you feel genuine passion about.
Yes, yes, thank you. Because that's what needs to lead me more than the fear.
Yes.
Do you have any suggestions for things that would be really good for me to do?
No, we do not have any more suggestions because we have given you time and time again the idea of releasing your fears so that you can live in a heart-centered space and do what you love to the best of your ability, time and time again, always making the highest vibrational choice available to you and allowing that to awaken your own intuition, your own inner knowing that what feels good and fulfilling to you is leading you in the right direction. And the more you question, the more you sabotage yourself, when what you are questioning is your own innate love that is the driving force behind all of creation. So you can come to trust that and know that in your own right, in yourself, and allow it to work through you, and you will know what you need to do.
Okay, thank you so much, Pleiadian Council.
Our thanks to you as well.
Great. And so I'm still going through and seeing if we have any more questions. I know Laurel has the second part of her question. And but let me see if yeah, Laurel, why don't you go ahead and ask your the other half of your question?
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just so filled with happiness that I can be part of this wonderful transmission. Okay, so earlier in the session, I spoke about, the coming into an action step with my giftedness. And one thing that occurred to me when you were talking to Denise just now, that is, I think I am coming to understand that in a way I don't need to ask this question, and yet I want to just celebrate with you an insight that I had over the weekend, and so I do want to speak of it. Yet I'm seeing that it's that I don't need to maybe come for your permission to do any particular thing, as long as I'm following my passion and stepping out. So just a quick check-in. So am I on the right track?
Well, are you doing what we have just said, following your highest passion with no insistence on an outcome?
Well, I have there's this resistance within me for a long time to step out and be more visible and be in leadership.
All right.
And so I'll just move into the question that it's a question and a comment. This weekend, I was on a Zoom nonviolent communication festival. And I was able to get in touch with something that I seldom get in touch with, but it's a wonderful feeling of service when I do it. There was a communication between a leader of a workshop and a man that wanted to share something in a kind of a protest sort of a situation. He wanted to share his music, and she and the lady gave some feedback, and I felt kind of how I would have been getting that feedback, and so I I felt it was unfinished. So I went into the chat and I said, I'm feeling incomplete. And so she'd already moved on, but she saw that. And I stepped in and I said, I reflected with, an NVC kind of a way of addressing it. And it was like she had a moment where she was very touched. She said, yes, that was what I would have wanted to say. And I felt like I helped that man who I imagine was feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this feedback from this group leader is, about, and he might have been confused. And I just felt that I've done that before, where I express something that's not being said because I feel incomplete and there was something off about the message, something not in fullest compassion. And other people resonate like, yes, that's what was unsaid. So I was wondering, how this might play into the whole meditation prayer group. What do you see there?
You were asking how this particular incident might fit into the prayer group.
Well, like just this this giftedness that I have for calling out something that's not complete and in the highest good.
Well, if that is what you wish to use as your gift in creating a group, you can choose to focus upon the themes of those things that are unspoken for within your collective.
Yes. And and I just, felt like I don't want to get stuck between two choices. Shall I do the meditation group? Shall I be a
Yes, of course.
co-facilitator in group therapy? And so I don't want to get conflicted about which way to go. So I'm guessing that where the most passion and love is, that's where I go.
Yes, and again, as you are perceiving, any either or trap that your mind perceives is an illusion, and you can do truly everything you are passionate about. And when you simply act upon what you are most passionate about in the moment, the timing will work itself out.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to be here.
Oh, our great thanks and love to you as well.
Great, thanks. I think that we need to stop now so we can go into our meditation.
All right. Well, we thank each and every one of you for allowing this transmission to occur in this way. And we thank you for, in your own way, integrating the culmination of this message, which is always returning you to the essence of living through your own heart, allowing love to motivate you to make the choices that align most with that frequency of love, standing for what you believe in and trusting in the process, and knowing that the innate truth we all share with you is that you are innately worthy and powerful beings, and you must take that power back yourself in order to enact the change. So our great thanks and our love is with all of you. We thank you very much for, again, participating in these interactions and creating this new earth through your love-based actions every day.
Thank you so much, Pleiadian
Oy.
Council. Thank you, Dante.
Hello, everybody. Thank you,
Hello.
guys. Wow, how was
That was a
that?
sobering message.
Yes.
They did
Yeah.
not mince words.
No.
They
Wow.
basically just said, like, get Trump out of here and polarity be
Yeah.
gone and love in the heart and take off your masks and connect and hug and embrace and love. And
Yeah,
wow,
pretty
it was,
powerful, right?
it was, yeah, it was huge.
Wow. Yay. I've had a friend here witnessing in person. You want to say hello?
Hi, yeah, we've seen you. Hello. Good, how are
We didn't
you?
get to your question today, but...
Oh,
Oh, did you type that in?
Yeah.
Oh, you could have asked it out loud here.
Okay. Next time.
Oh, what's your name? What's your name?
Oh, he can't hear. His name is Lou.
Oh, Lou, I'm sorry. I didn't ask your question. Oh.
I can't hear you, but whatever. Down to Pleiadians, stuff,
All right, shall we do our meditation? I think we're in the
What time is it?
penumbral eclipse. It's 12:12.
Oh yeah, it starts at 12:12. I guess I don't know why I'm opening this now. Is it the sound better or worse? I think it's worse when I unplug, isn't it?
Try it again. Plug in again. Let me compare.
Plugging in, plugging. Better or
Plugging
worse?
better. Plugging
Yeah,
better.
that's what I thought. Sorry.
No problem.
So yeah, gonna tap into meditation around the world, to tap into this light channel and connect with every soul who's experiencing this eclipse. And I don't know if anyone's actually in the world where this is something visible, if you can go outside and look at it. But we can all kind of bring in that energy. So let's now close our eyes and take a moment to take a breath in and just raise our arms up over our crown. And as we exhale, imagine a pillar of light forming as we open our hands again. A pillar of light forms around our body, going all the way from the center of the universe to the center of the earth. And as we slowly lower our arms, every bit our arms get a little bit lower, more of that energy flows and floods in from above, from the heavens, from below, from the earth. Connect below and above quickly, allowing the roots of light to grow out, pouring down from our heart through our root chakra at the base of our spine and out through our feet, going deep down within the earth, starting to weave around all of the plants, moving through that mycelium grid around the earth, connecting all life, electromagnetic energy moving, breathing through the planet in every moment, synchronizing our heart with the beat of the heart of each tree, that energy that weaves through the very force that sustains our life, into our body and back out into nature. Seeing those roots of light grow even deeper then, to connect to the water of the earth, taking in that nourishment from below, the roots of light growing even deeper around the minerals, metals, and crystals of the earth, the roots growing even deeper around those dark layers of the earth, what people call the black lake or the fossil fuel layer, where millions of years of life have decomposed, creating this fuel, this energy that ripples up into our world. Seeing the roots grow even deeper, getting hotter as it goes down to this magma layer of the earth, the crystal core of the earth. As you touch that crystal core, feel that energy or that Schumann resonance start to vibrate up, moving through your roots and quickly filling your body, as every layer of your body, your bones, your muscles, ligaments, your organs, your blood, all start to vibrate with that same resonance of the earth. You picture that deep energy, the essences, the elemental forces of every layer of the earth merging, moving, and living through your body. Connecting now to your cosmic consciousness. Seeing again your heart be the origin point of a beam of energy that splits into so many spiraling threads of light that reach out, go through the crown of your head, into our moon, into our sun, and through the sun, through a great big web that weaves around the galaxy, to many stars where our starseed connections open, these portals through which our DNA from these places activate, seeing threads of light that go all the way to the galactic center. Through that galactic center, through this supermassive black hole and all that dark matter, to the infinitesimal, small point at its essence, the great unknown that leads us to every other galactic center within our universe through a greater web. And that web leads us to an even bigger quantum level network of every potential universe that Source could create, through that to Source itself and all creator beings, forces of the angels, then coming rippling down from all of those layers above and beyond, through all of the stars, through our own solar system, and into our crown, descending like a shower of light into our body, filling our whole body with this light. And with our energy fields open, we can do this cosmic Tonglen meditation, meditation of compassion, feeling the surges of what the collective is releasing, breathing in all of that darkness around the world, and exhaling compassion, exhaling as the cosmic light and the earth light channel through your body and out. Breathing in all of that energy that's released around the world, and exhaling love and compassion. Feeling our hearts now connected in a network of light around the world, channeling in these frequencies of light to every other heart that is willing to open to receive this energy. Breathe in whatever the collective needs to release, and exhale this love and compassion, this cosmic consciousness emanating from Source in the earth. Continue breathing in this energy in this way. And perhaps you notice that as these energies move through you, places where you hold on to tension or fear or indecision and worry in your body start to show themselves to you. As you breathe in this energy of all of humanity and breathe out love and compassion, notice how this love and energy goes to those places within you that need to upgrade, those parts of the collective mystery that you are solving through working out in your own life. Breathe in more of this energy and exhale love and compassion, bringing acceptance and love and power to all we are holding, all the earth is holding. So we open our channels for this higher energy to move through us and ripple out. Now together, let's connect to the energy of the moon. Perhaps now seeing this deep red tone flowing up from above us and pouring into our body, allowing this red ray to flow into our channel through our spine, allowing that deep energy from the moon. It's perfect opposition to our sun right now to bring out anything that no longer serves us. Allowing those energies to literally be siphoned out through the moon. Feeling that upward pull of the moon, its gravity. Imagine that as it pours into us this red, powerful light, that our fears, our negative beliefs, our karmic tensions, any trauma that we're holding, is pulled out into the moon, to be released into the cosmos. And feel that as we release, our body begins to open, to hold more space. The more that we allow any of this tension to dissolve in our direct connection to Source, these cosmic bodies, the more the light can shine deep into us. Bring in above the energy of the sun, channeling in its golden light, this deep red light. Allow it to shine forth through your body so that your body can be this great beacon to the light of the divine. Allowing the energy from all of the stars beyond. We have connections in Sirius and all systems beyond to simply flow through your channel and start to pour out through your open heart. Now with your energy connected, feel again this network of light through all of these hearts. The love pouring out as we allow this cosmic experience to download into us, to unify all polarities. To ignite the passion within us, to ignite that remembrance of our divine essence, so that as we walk about our lives, we trigger that same remembrance in others. And as we release those parts of the collective story we hold on to in ourselves, we stop triggering that same force in others. And instead we shine the light of the source energy that we want to see as our reality on Earth. As we hold this great open healing vibration, connection to all the Earth, start to picture that ascended Earth. Just picture it in the soonest possible timeline. Imagining this year, 2033, 13 years from now, when the Earth has released the beliefs and structures limiting us, what do you see first? Is it restored nature, free energy, extraterrestrial contact, health and equality? Picture all of those aspects as they come to you. And see yourself in that moment, in that ascended timeline of Earth. 13 years from now, make that deep connection with them. If you're not a visual person, you can simply feel the energy. Maybe you hear. Noticing what their reality appears like. And that core frequency of love they hold in their being. And together, allow them to rewind, showing you every moment of your action step as part of Ascension. From that day 13 years from now to this moment in 2020. Seeing the ways that you were a part of that global shift to a world that represents ascension and unification. Allowing your higher self to show you the steps and the ways that you contributed, big and small. Moving closer and closer to the now until you can get a sense of the more immediate future, these next years. What is the next practical step for you to take in moving in the direction of this beautiful, ascended, balanced planet? And we'll come to rest in relative silence as we allow this energy to integrate and circulate. You can connect to any part of this meditation that felt in strongest resonance for you, continuing to explore any visions that can come up through that meditation of connecting with your higher self and the highest timeline of our ascension. You can connect with that energy of light we're creating around the earth. You can connect with that energy of the moon, pulsing our emotional body to release those beliefs that do not serve us now. Simply rest in the integration and flow of this energy. Continuing to breathe where this energy is sitting in you, wherever you're at, whatever you're experiencing, intending to expand that peace, then intending to expand your sense of wonder and awe and love. We don't always do this more far out there part of it. I'm going to bring through some light language for a couple of minutes. Then anyone who would like to join, you can have a light language choir. Unmute yourselves in a couple minutes and I'll let you know when that's all well and good. So if you're not familiar with light language, this is simply a flowing use of verbal expression in non-linguistic, rational ways that allows for higher frequency energies to integrate in our being. And sometimes if we channel in a specific galactic tone or cosmic being, we can allow them to transmit a frequency in this language. So the thing to understand is that it's not something you understand and something that you feel and allow and surrender to, and its intention is to bring us in deeper connection and love. Inalakopa akate kania shekotaramona pasko teramekate. Eko sonamolo kotarameshka taramokopo koko ke salakatamoko taramakatai. Ke tanamoloko tarananai ayekat ata anakosono kopa ashkala katar inamoko taramongo tek asana taron nemoloko tere nemoko taramonana. Ku tenamoso no nashka taramakapala katarine ne ak anananos onamokot ai. Ika taramalokopa onoshke taramoko sinikataramba mbala ashk. Eko taramo unde sa ka tane aka alaka onika anoko o sanongo ishkanamoko onemoko ata ala. Enika taramo sonuko laba ari irisinimo kotarama mosutut a fakutanamo ushke tanamo soko tarama. Nakawata alaka tanama eka tarak unge teninamo kotarama usuta tabalakone shkatarama mokota. Kina renana ko So anyone who wants to continue in the light language as well can unmute.
Yakanana.
Nemolokotaramo.
Yakanana.
Kinamokopaleshke taramoko.
Nakura saramai.
Monika Kilala Kote Otane Sai
Ikakana ukuran sanda ata itinaki apata atunda shakatiki nanana. Amchayna kunamana atatakuata.
Alaka ora momo soka taramaikata. Ilaka taramakoshke taramakosko. Ilaka taramakapata anikata. Ina moloko taramakotara akata. Ina moloko taramakota tinda taramosa. Nama makatarashka. Eka taramosonikota akala. Una malakataramomoko sanda. Shakataramomokota ala anamokopa asikataramo.
Is Denise out there? Where's Denise? The whales and dolphins are really like doing all kinds of things in here. Yeah, na na na, oh yeah, namaste. It's a party.
Inashko tarapoloko aneke ari nasapako oni batarar ni masoro to tarapoko. Kana kataramo oko ashka sini moloko tarama mopot a ketaramo kota pa onosoi.
Ekena tatara sineke, shinana na kora tandai. Iya puna na 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 kora tandai, kina natura pandai. Iya.
Ashkataramo
Uchina
kota
kwa.
kataramo kota. So let's return into that sacred silence and again let this integrate.
She can. I'm gonna put a picture of the earth. I think I have the earth up here. Oh, I don't have the earth yet.
Now just return to our center, returning to our heart space. Seeing our deep roots of light going all the way down to the center of the earth. Any of these future frequencies, celestial frequencies, angelic frequencies we've tapped into, and allow them to channel down through us and now feel their energy reaching the core of the earth, affirming as our feet touch the ground that we know the action steps we take. We know what it feels like for this frequency of love channel into our earth reality so that we can receive that energy of the earth to fulfill our goals, to fulfill that goal of ascension together, so that we can allow our energy to reach the earth and walk forward on our path of equalizing and harmonizing this planet, of seeing truth from illusion through that core essence of love, and living in that new understanding, embodying that new understanding through our every cell and every being. And finally returning to our heart center again, where we know the essence of this is one. And we know that the downloads and initiations have just begun. And from here on out, we will continue to connect. We're still in the energy of this eclipse, and hopefully more tuned in, more bright, more brilliant than ever before. And as we continue, we see ourselves as complete new beings on a new planet. So, yeah, take your time coming back from that one. And as we now return, we can come to an end. Some people have been here with us the whole time or just watching. Wow, thank you for joining. This is an extra long one today.
It was
and
beautiful.
And it was my
feel
first
free to
one, so
stick
I'm
up and
excited.
share your experience.
Yay,
Who was that?
Sissy. It was our first one. Yay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Dante, I'd love to
So
share a song if there's just a moment to share a song. It feels like it'd be a beautiful thing. But I know it's
yeah,
time
we
to
can
go.
do that after we really just want to come and conclude this space. And as we conclude the space,
Yeah.
back on the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, just want to mention for everyone, if you feel called to donate, there's the links, I think, on the Facebook and on some various other pages. Or if you can't
I
find
can
it, you
put them right here in the chat. It's
somewhere.
Dante.Filippini@gmail.com. on PayPal. I'll write it right here.
That helps us pay for the Zoom. It does have a cost to have this webinar function, and it also supports me in being able to do this, and supports the whole journey. So really appreciate it. If you're able and you'd like to,
I can put the links in there now.
and yeah, if you enjoy this, it's beautiful if you allow this to reach more people and share it in your network, let people know, and live that message of the Pleiadians so that love can, yeah, take back this reality, all the things.
So beautiful. You ready for a song?
Just want to hear from anybody if anyone wants to say anything before.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Anybody
I
want
just
to have some comments or sharings? Who's live with us? I'm looking at the panel view now. I wasn't seeing anyone before. So love to make connection with people who are here. Hello, Heather. Hello, Laurel.
hi.
Hello, Sissy. Oh, Frank. Beautiful. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate your continuing to journey with us. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we can close. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Dante, for all you give
You're
to this.
welcome. Yay.
Aww.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'll sing and you can stay on if you want, or you can say goodbye. I'll do a short one. If you want to sing along with this,
I'm gonna
you're
return to
welcome
my
to.
reality a little bit and be.
Okay, sweetie. I'll talk to you soon. So we can all sing with this, but we probably should mute because on Zoom, things get a bit weird when everyone's unmuted. But this song, we are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to live. We are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to give. So we are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to live. We are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to live. And then we are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to give. We are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to give. Take your joyful place at the feasting table. We are love, we are light, we are one family. We are love, we are light, we are rising to be free. I and you and you and we are rising up as one family. This great family of light is waking out of the night. We are all great threads in the one tapestry. As we love, we rise to be free. We are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to live. We are awakening, we are remembering, we are rising up to give. Joining in this beautiful oneness, we are the end of the night. Let's see that 13 years, the earth has reclaimed its place as a planet of light where love is embodying fully. and fear is no more. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Many
you so much.
blessings.
I'll email you.
Yes, absolutely. I love connecting with everybody. It's just getting like a brighter and brighter joy to find each other again. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day. And everyone out on Facebook land, happy eclipse, and be in the love. Let go of the polarity as much as you can and be the compassion that holds it all. And we ascend faster. And Donald Trump is not our ally.
A good place to end, right?
A really good place to end.
Let's expel the QAnon craziness from our community.
Oh
Love
my
you all.
God. Bye bye, everyone. Much
See our
love.
minds, open our
Sarah?
hearts.
Yes,
Love
see
you
you,
very
Laurel.
much.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank you for facilitating this. You do such a
Yeah,
wonderful
thank you so
job.
much, Sarah. This is
Oh,
like such an amazing
You're
support you offer all of us.
welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. It reminds me of my days as a Pleiadian ambassador.
yeah. Are we ever going to get to talk on the phone?
I don't know. Oh, you and me, Laurel. Let's talk about that later. Let's just end and connect.
Okay,
And
okay.
I'll call you, Laurel. I'll call
Oh,
you.
call me. Yes.
I will. Many blessings.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Dante.
See you next time the moon goes through a
Heather,
different phase.
Sissy. Next week. Is it Saturday next week? I think it might be Saturday. But check the Be Bliss Facebook page or Dante's page. I'll announce it. Okay. Bye. Ciao, everyone.